Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. My name is Dr. Kemi Adebayo, also known as Mama K. In today's program, for our special series, we're focusing on education. And as we all know, Mandela, yes, our own Tata Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon that one needs to change the world. So we're going to feature snippets of an interesting conversation that I had with two amazing educators who are doing so much in their schools in Cape Town. Miss Malgas, who is the principal for Manyano High School, and Miss Lehman, who is the principal for Rosendale High School, which is based in Delft. Manyano High School is based in Khayelitsha, even though, yes, you know, most of the time the news we hear about some of these places are not good news, but these are people who are doing great work in the community. Enjoy. Yes. How has the journey been for Manyano itself? Because you've shared with us your own personal experience there, from being a vice to, you know, gaining the trust and unity from your colleagues. For Manyano as a school and in the area and the challenges, how has the journey been, and what are some of the challenges, you know, Manyano has had, and what are some of the successes it has had to date?
Oh, it's been quite a long journey. It was not a smooth one. I think when you start becoming a principal, especially in a school where there's been a history of male principal, already people are not are cautious, and probably they've got their own issues. You know, we cannot run away from the fact that it's been quite it didn't come easily for people to accept females.
Still the male,
yes, as the principal. So we also experienced that on different levels, yes. But it has never been a big issue, and I think more than anything, I think it's the attitude that I took it, or like in a very positive way. That's point number one. Number two, the learners. You know, you are becoming the principal of kids. They are girl and boy learners. They have got also their own perception and some challenges where they feel that I might be having some problems, a problem as a boy learner in terms of so many things, including circumcision and all of that. And there's this mother whom I cannot share a lot of things with. For instance, they will go for initiation school, come back wearing the attire, and I'll be boldly standing with the assembly telling them that this is a school, all of us should be in our school uniform, and we're giving you this much time for us. So, you know, such things, they will feel like maybe it's because she's a woman, that's why she's doing like that. So there will be always things that you cannot run away from the fact that people, they think that you are doing certain things because you're a woman, not because it's things that are meant to be done and they are supposed to be like that. So that's another thing. But more than anything, we're challenged by a lot of so many disturbances. One of the major ones that I can mention is the issue of gangsterism, which was a serious issue at that time, immediately when I became a principal. In fact, it was something that was there, but it was not, I think the stages were still, you know, settled. So over time, it became, it just blew. Yeah. And, you know, I never had experience in terms of dealing with that. Because it also involved a lot of things, the department, the community members, the parents, the learners, us also were not ready as teachers as well. So there was a lot that I had to learn, including as to why are we fighting as kids, and then how is this thing how did it emanated, and what are the reasons for us, and how can we resolve all of these? And then, but unfortunately, because we were not quite vested in that area, we were quick to say suspension. And at the time, it was not helping us, but we were not in a position to reflect and see that this thing is not working. For as long as we're chasing them, we're happy with that. But after some time, I think we're blessed to have an opportunity to sit with our learners, and also I think we're doing visioning, where our learners were in a position to tell us that, hey, this is more than this is what is happening.
Let's go to the successes, because I know you've managed since you've been here and went from acting, principal, thrown into being a principal. The success rate, the percentage of the school was so bad, at that time. And now, you're getting all these awards, over the years. Come on, share with us some of that and how that happened.
Yes, when I started at the school, the percentage was very low. We were identified as one of the poor performing schools. It was not something that was sitting well with us, and we were not happy with that. We couldn't identify ourselves with that, but it was a fact that the school is not doing well. I think at some stage there was this notion that if the school is doing bad, it's more reflecting on the management. But in particular the principal. So we used to fight with the department in relation to that. And in our references, we use the soccer, soccer. I
was just going to say that. Coaches. The football saying, if the team is not doing well, it's the coach.
So it was apparently like that, even in schools, that if the school's not doing well, the principal. And I was not happy with that. That thing was not sitting very well with me at all. I was like, it was like something that was really, itching. At that time. And then I'm one person who always, as much as I don't like what you are saying, but when I do have time, I do have my own reflections. So at some stage I felt, okay, I've been a principal of the school, and unfortunately when you become a principal of the school, most of the time you have to be the one who is willing to go for development. Otherwise, most of the time, it's something that says you apply, do it. So at some stage, I'd have to identify that, okay, there are some training workshops that I need to attend. So I have to identify, and I attended them. Some really assisted me, but to a certain extent. Then I had to go further in terms of looking away from the Department of Education. What else can I do? And some of the opportunities that came along, like the Umlambo Foundation, which was really helpful, because there we had an opportunity of doing a leadership course. In 2010, I was appointed as a permanent principal of Manyano High School. I think I was not ready mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. My name is Nokuzola Fumana, teaching at Manyano High School in Cape Town. I felt completely alone when, at the beginning of the year, I was given the class which was 10G. There were a lot of rumors that some of my learners were involved in gangsterism. Most of them were over 18. I saw myself as somebody who can't conquer them.
In our school, we've got a list each and every end of the term that will be put on the public wall. I knew that none of my learners will appear on the list. I did not want even to try to motivate them because I was so fed up. I wanted to quit. I wanted to leave the school.
The worst point was when we found weapons within the school, axes, pangas and knives. We were so terrified. We were living in fear. So at some stage I had to stand up in the staff room and say, teachers, you need to be very careful when we are in classes. In 2013, we lost about 4 learners that were killed. We were hopeless and helpless. At some stage I didn't have power to stand, and to say anything to the parents because I was wounded myself. I felt like applying for this school to be closed because at that time it was the safest route. Things got so bad that I shut my door, closed my office, and I prayed. I heard the story in Sunday Times about the Columba Leadership Academy. I felt strongly that this was our time. We asked learners to apply and write an essay as to why they want to be selected. They did that and we chose 12 out of them. We learned so much about our learners that there's so much greatness within them. It was an eye-opener for us. I learned that it starts with me. The more you understand your leadership qualities and your weaknesses, then you end up understanding where to improve and possible how to best serve other people.
I began to see that I was the problem. The learners in my class were not the problem. I think I was very judgmental.
Initially, I was the kind of a principal who would cut them short, but I've learned so much in terms of building relations with them. And when we came back, we had the kind of mother-child relationship. As a teacher, you have to affirm learners. You have to tell the learners how much I love you, how much I care about you. I'm here to support you and I'm here to serve you.
After Columba, I've realized that I've built a wall and then I gave them a chance. The wall started to fall.
When did you start at Rosendahl?
As I said, the doors opened in 1996, January 1996, and I started as a post-level 1 teacher, being an acting head of department. So that was...
Oh, you started in 1996?
I started in 1993 as a teacher, but I was in primary school.
I see. Oh, now I'm making the connection because you see, I did a bit of research about you before, and I know you were in a school primary before, so it was that primary, and then basically,
yes.
Then okay, I see.
So then our learners remained at the school, the high school learners, they came up to high school. And then principal requested us as teachers who are postgraduate qualified to stay at the high school because we were qualified to teach high school as well. And we took that learners, we enrolled learners for grade 8, grade 9 and grade 10 that year. And then we took them up to have matriculants, our first matriculants in 1998. At the school.
Wow.
So yes, from the opening of the doors of Rosendahl High School,
you've been involved.
Yes.
And I know when I was reading about you, I do that just so I know who I'm speaking to, even though this is a conversation. I know you worked with the Ministry of Social Development as a director for some years. How was that, and how did that happen, and how has that been able to help you in your role as a principal?
Yes, the Deputy Minister, the late Dr. Jean Benjamin, was, this was her constituency. And as a young teacher and community activist, because I always say, our role is not confined to the classroom. As teachers, we must be out there, we must understand what's happening at the homes, we must understand what's happening in the community and able to make the difference. And that is when it was her constituency, she was a member of parliament. And she came to the school and she said to me, well, she have noticed my passion and the difference that I make in terms of the social developmental aspect and the impact, how it impacts on the community. And I am busy, if I can be busy 24/7, I will do that. And she decided, and she asked me if I don't want to come and be the head of office when she became deputy minister.
So you were head on tech, basically.
Yes. But that is what passion and that is what, hard work does. People see your passion and the difference that you're making in our communities. And she then requested that I be seconded to her office, because I said to her, with all due respect, this is my passion, education is my passion, and I believe that I can make a difference everywhere and anywhere. But if I can be seconded, I would gladly, appreciate that. So yes, and that has impacted majorly in my development, in seeing the world from a national perspective, where laws are promulgated, where cabinet decisions are made, where laws are promulgated, understanding, how that impacts on the lives in terms of the 3 tiers of government. So yes, and the difference that we could make, because she, as a deputy minister then with the late Minister Xhosa also, the passion of, social development and welfare services, it was assigned to her. And working with the elderly, and I always say from the cradle to the grave. So the exposure and the passion that I could serve with was an absolute honor, and the skills that it equipped me with, I could come back and plow back on a bigger scale, making a bigger
And you're really making more. From what I've seen and what I've read and what I've heard, you're really doing a lot. So what are some of the challenges for you as a school? Or, I know, you spoke earlier about the social ills, in disadvantaged communities, which Delft is one. But what we try to do through programs like this is not focus on the social ills, because we know they're there, but we want to focus on the positive. But what are some of the challenges, though, for you as a school in the area?
Yes, we are in the pandemic, and COVID-19 has taken quite resilient leadership, and it has taken a lot. And I like that term, resilient. Mama Kay, what happened was, when lockdown was announced, we as teachers had to come, and we had to feed our communities, our children. And there was a young man that has just started at the school, and he is a resident in Delft, and he started then with saying to me, Principal, I know that you are saying we don't as teachers have to come, because you are going to call on the community, on the NGOs and the NPO sector to come and support. But I want to be here because I have been, looking after the youngsters, buying them a loaf of bread with my first salary when it started, into the results. So Mr. Alloway Mr. Alloway is late, very young, first year, and he died in a tragic accident. But the difference that he made in the life of this child of Rosenda, of the Delft, enormous. I want to, just pay tribute and acknowledge that. Yes. So then I can say to you that as principal, I was here every day. I had to make sure that our children get fed. I've called on 20 of all the NGOs that are feeding, and they came and they've partnered with us. They were here doing the screening, doing the,
everybody played their part.
Everything, assisting us with the cooking, the 2 cooks. So making the difference. And I can say that the challenges that we currently have is that it's a new way of teaching. It's a new pedagogical approach. We need resources in terms of the 4th Industrial Revolution. Our Laptops for teachers are outdated, of which is probably 12 are working at the moment. We need IT equipment really as soon as possible. And I always say the Department of Education cannot do it alone. That is why we get the opportunity to come out in these platforms and say out there, if you have funding, please assist us, you know, in getting this school better equipped with resources.
And do you have an IT lab already, or do you have a room that you could put those IT equipment? I think that's my question.
Yes, we have.
So you have a room, but it is bare.
We are growing. Yes, we need a third and a fourth computer lab.
Right.
We currently have one. And curriculum one, and yes, so it needs to, it doesn't address our needs.
No wonder when we got here, your deputy, a very young, lovely man, I've forgotten his name now. What's his name, your deputy?
Is it Mr. Engel? Mr.
Yes,
yeah.
Mr. Yes. Yeah, he was so nice to us. But the first thing he said was, he's a good marketer for the school. We need, have you come here with our IT equipment? So there you go, viewers. If you know anywhere where we can get IT equipment, I know there's a lot of trusts and other foundations out there. They've worked with some of the schools we've worked with in Khayelitsha. So please, there you go. You've heard one of the main needs, because with COVID now, anyway, it's showing us that, the digital and the world we're going into is changing.
Yes.
And we need to equip our learners with, digital knowledge and more stuff. So.
Absolutely, and that would really take us, for the learners to benefit mostly, and also assisting the teachers, because now teachers are rotating. So if the station is set up in the classroom, and then it will be much easier for teachers to move swiftly and to be able to do the projections of the work, etc. Whether it's a video, whether it's other software that needs to be programmed, needs to be played, then that would much take the strain from going onto the whiteboard and writing the notes, etc. Next teacher comes in, etc. So that will assist us really. And the other one is we believe that we must holistically develop the child. I know during COVID there's not much activity that our children can do. We need the development of our grounds. The school has had a very high participatory in sporting codes. Like we've had 11 sporting codes before the lockdown period that learners can participate in, because there's hardly youth facilities, and there are young boys and girls coming and playing on the school grounds in the afternoons. So that needs to be owned by the community. We want our youth off the street, because there's an old saying that says that a child in sports is a child out of court.
Like, why is it structured in that way?
For safety purposes. Because with all the stuff that the school faces, especially like gangsterism, kids have a tendency just to run, when those things happen. So what they can do for the school is they can close those gates and keep, let's first say, the chaos or whatever's happening on that wing of the school closed down and protect the others.
It's so intimidating though.
Yeah, I know.
It's extreme. Like when I walked in and to see even the two security people, like that law enforcement, it's quite intimidating.
That's a new program launched last year by the Minister of Community Safety. They applied to putting law enforcement on the schools, especially like government schools, because there's no security on schools, the police are not visible. So now they're implementing that program for them to be at the school. So whatever happens, like stabbing, shooting, fighting, they're on duty, like
someone there.
Immediate response.
Yeah, okay, I see. Now it makes sense, but like if you don't know, it's so intimidating. I was like, how? I feel like they don't even have like a playground, and it's all really structured and closed up. That's like, whoa, quite a shock for me.
Bang bang. I met the minister at the Department of Agriculture, where I met the lovely HOD head of department, Jolene Isaacs. And whatever the community faces, the school faces as well. And that's why I consider my community, my school, as my country. We have a president, our 6 members, we have different portfolios. My role is Minister of Finance, and it's my privilege to take charge and raise funds and manage money. Our purpose of the day is to share with you the information of the campaign started by Africa Unite, the school club on the leadership training camp.
Africa Unite has also been one of the partners starting with us since late last year, and they have done excellent work in leadership development with the RCL, for instance, and that is how it came about that they job shadow to you.
Thank you very much on behalf of every student that comes through this school under your leadership, because you have lived out what Madiba has said we all need to do. And you have helped create and build the partnerships and build a team that needs to create opportunity for young people to become that difference that we all need to make in the world. So it starts with one person saying, I'm going to actually make a difference. When I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go and make that difference.
Wow. Yes, so much respect with this amazing 2 ladies who are doing so much, like I said earlier on, in the community. And, you heard me there with Ms. Malgas when we were talking, about the fact that, yes, their school initially, they didn't have school good result, and she's won so many awards, and she's managed to do that by developing herself and growing, more in that sector. And as well as Miss Lehman, where we asked her to share, how somebody, a young person, might become a teacher, if they want to be, and wonderful tips she gave us there. Well, that's all we've got time for today, and we hope to be back with more special series. We salute our educators, all the teachers, the non-teaching staff for all they're doing in the lives of our young people, and congratulations to all our schools for the matric result that they got. Even if you didn't get the percentage you wanted to this year, please just know you've done very well. And to all the learners, I hope you've all sorted yourself, be it going back to school for further education, or going to learn a trade, or having to retake some of your subjects that you were probably not happy with. But remember, it's not the end of the world. Keep doing your best. Education is important, and education is key. Well, this is Mama K signing off, saying stay blessed, stay safe, love you all, and God bless.